ونزلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Peace be with you. We are reaching the end of this very long journey from the very beginning. In fact, it's a cosmic journey from the beginning of the creation up to our time and understanding the sacred history with what happened at the very beginning, and starting with this knowledge which was so important, the knowledge of the names, and then the relationship with our fellow human beings, the reality of diversity, reaching and understanding the notion of time and space. And through this we understand that in fact, if we have to deal with space, the space is infinite. There is no end, and we understand with all what we know now scientifically that all the galaxies and the other worlds, all this has an existence, and we just look at the infinity around us. When it comes to time, we understand that the cosmic time has a beginning and an end. So it's a linear understanding of time. This is the way we look at it, because one day there will be the final judgment. The day of judgment is coming, so it will be an end for us as much as it was a start. But within this cosmic linear time, there are cycles, and the cyclic time, it's part of what we experience as human beings. We are born and we die, and others before us and others after us, and life, and many things are exactly the same. History is repeating itself. Not always the same events, but the same features, the same characteristics, the same realities for human beings. So we have to deal with this on understanding the cosmic order, that there will be an end. What we find now with some Muslims is that they are so obsessed with the signs of the final day, the signs of the end, the signs of the end of the world, that it becomes a superstition. It's as if we are just looking for the end of day, this is going to happen, instead of being obsessed with something that it's beyond you. You know, people at the time of the Prophet ﷺ were trying to look at signs that telling the people, the end of time is coming, so we have to be prepared. This was 1,000 years ago, so before the Prophet ﷺ himself, and even among the companions. So rather to be being obsessed with these signs, with what is going to happen to the world and to humanity, you may have to change the order, because this is at the end, it's all about, superstition. Come to your own life. You know that it's going to end, and very soon. Your life is going to end before the end of the world. So instead of just talking about the end of the world with all these signs and all these lectures that we have now, it's that we have to look at this and that, that's fine, but that's not the point. The point of to come back to the certainty that your life is going to end, and you are responsible within this life to do what you have to do before your own end. You have to be aware that it could happen tomorrow, it could happen now, it could happen even when you are listening to this talk. It could happen anytime. It could be sudden, it could be a long sickness or disease. We don't know. We don't know how it's going to happen, but we know that we are responsible, and we have to be prepared when it comes to our life and when it comes to the reality of death in our life. And what we find in the Quran is just a reminder that you have to get this right. This is the reality of your life. When it is said, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كل نفس ذائقة الموت وإنما توفون أجوركم يوم القيامة. Every soul will have a taste of death, and you will receive your recompense on the day of resurrection. So the day of resurrection is coming. It's coming, it's the end. You don't know what it's going to be, but before this, you have to taste your own death. It's coming, it's soon, it's very soon. يوم أو بعد يوم, you have it in the Quran. It could happen anytime. So with this consciousness, the very deep spiritual understanding of what death means to you, to your life, to your history within history, is something that you have to deal with in a way where everything should come back to the very essence of the meaning of your life, because it's death that is giving meaning to your life. What the way you deal with your death is saying something about the way you deal with your life. And if you get that after this life, after your death, there is another life, and this life it's better for you than this, and the other life it's better than you for you than this life, you will get it right. This is the hereafter. This is the other life after death, and it changes everything. Now, what we find also in the Quran is this awareness that we need to get, that yes, we have our family, we have our beloved ones around us, my wife, my husband, my parents, my kids, everything. But now what it is said in the Quran, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وَكُلُّهُمْ آتِيهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَرْضًا. Every one of you and each one of them will come to him on the day of resurrection alone. You are going to be alone. So all this, people that you were loving during this life, they are gone. Now you have to face God, and you are going to do this alone. You cannot say, oh, my father was an imam, my wife was very, very generous. No, that's not going to work. At the end, you come and say, what have you done? What have you done with your life? What have you done with your knowledge? What have you done with your love? What have you done with your money? What have you done with your body? What have you done? You alone. That's the reality of it. So the whole cosmic order is coming back to you. So instead of looking at the world and trying to find or to escape and to find other ways to deal, come back to you and know that one day you will have to face God on your own. And this solitude, this loneliness, is the reality of faith and in the way we have to get this. Because what we need to understand, if we love God and we try to get this love, all the beloved ones that we had in our life, they will be brought back. So this is the promise. This is what we were told. So try to love God the right way. You will get your beloved beyond this life. This is the promise, and this is our hope. But it takes effort, it takes time, it takes to get this certainty that beyond what is visible, there is this invisible world and this invisible life. What we find also at the end of Surah Luqman is something that is again showing us our vulnerability, the fact that we are very fragile in this life, and that we need also to deal with this in a way which is coming back to our humility and our humanity. When it is said, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما تدري نفس ماذا تكسب غدا وما تدري نفس بأي أرض تموت إن الله عليم خبير. No soul knows what it will reap tomorrow, and no soul knows in what land it will die. God is all-knowing, well-informed. Only God knows. But you don't know where you are going to die. What is your future? What is going to happen to you tomorrow? So what is going to happen, what you are going to get, you don't know. Where are you going to die? You don't know. When you don't know, where you don't know, what is going to be your destiny, you don't know. So it's full of ignorance here. While there is a certainty, you are going to die. There are so many doubts, so many questions. When, how, where, I don't know. So be prepared and get the right message here coming from Al-Quran Al-Kareem, coming from this journey within history. In the name of God, in the name of your love to God, instead of being completely unaware of the reality of the world by talking about so many things that you forget yourself, look at the cosmic order. Look at this history of human beings and come back to yourself. Come back to yourself and face it as it is. You are alive, you have your consciousness, you are still able to do your best to be a good human being, and know that you are going to die alone. Not knowing when, not knowing where, but you know it's going to happen. This is your end before the end of history, before the day of resurrection. And this day, inshallah, you will find and you will face God, hoping that with His mercy, He will protect you with His love. As much as you have loved Him, He will protect you with His love. And what He says, and what He repeats, and what He's telling us, He said it from the very beginning up to now, that He is the merciful, the most merciful. War-Rahman, wa huwa ar-Rahim. Don't forget to tell the people you love that you love them. Life is fragile.
نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا